Hey guys, what's on the video on the Inside Spurs channel? Oh, just turn up my mic. There we go. Happy Monday afternoon / evening to you all. Hope you're all okay. Hope you're all right. Hope the week has started as well as it possibly could have started for you. In this video, we're talking about some news that came out a little bit earlier today surrounding Spurs' interest in West Ham attacker Mohammed Kudus. We're talking about how there's been a bid rejected for Kudus, as well as sort of what the valuation would look like if Spurs were to get the deal done. We'll be talking a little bit about Arsenal's interest in Eberechi Eze and what that could mean right now. We're also talking about priorities surrounding the number 6 role, the fact that Romero, there's a bid accepted. Actually, no, there's not. We talk about that as well. To us, there's quite a few things to talk about this evening. I'm not going to be on here for too long. I will go off and have some dinner. It's been a long day of work, so we're going to wrestle in. We're going to be efficient, and we're going to get the job done. Evening to Sonia and Spurs and Janice and Callum. How are you, Callum, mate? You right? Yes, transfer news. And obviously, today is the last day for the financial fair play calendar year for the next year to set up and start up tomorrow. So some teams have been creative with ways of getting around financial fair play, but there is a conversation surrounding West Ham and their financial fair play. Let's first and foremost jump in and talk about it. Matt Law was the first person to report on it, and then Romano doubled down to say that Tottenham have genuine interest in Mohammed Kudus, and he's high on the list for this summer. Initial contacts took place with his new agents, while there are more clubs also involved. Kudus is open to Spurs talks. And there's a few things on this that I want to quickly talk about. Liverpool are wanting a left-sided attacker. Arsenal are wanting a left-sided attacker. Chelsea are getting Gittins, so it won't be them. United won't. I don't think Newcastle. I feel like Newcastle are going to more of a right winger. Villa, maybe. Oh, we've got to talk about Jacob Ramsey. It's another one. See what I mean? It comes to me all at once. Pause. Sophia and Daniel, Joshua, how are we? Look, on Kudus first and foremost. The apparent bid is that it's been rejected for 50 million. Okay, 50 million. The idea supposedly is about 60 will get the deal done. Now, I have concerns surrounding this because, look, well, first and foremost, actually, if Thomas Frank, if he goes, that's my number one target, that's the guy that I need to help deliver success at this football club, then do you know what? Whatever you think or whatever I think are massively irrelevant, and it still probably is massively irrelevant anyway, you give the manager what he needs. Because if you're going to set him a list of goals and he goes, well, I need this then to achieve that, you've got to look to give him that, okay? But on Kudus, 60 million for me is a bad deal. I don't think he's worth anything near 60 million. I'll give you an idea. In 32 games played this season, he has 8 goal contributions as an attacker for 60 million. Okay, so just remember, 32 games played, 8 goal contributions for 60 million. Let me just get these facts right. I'm going to give you, and he did that in 2,603 minutes. Okay. So let's hold on to that because I want to bring this bit of information in, which I think is quite alarming for how bad he is apparently. And you'll get people going, they don't play exactly the same system. In 2,179 minutes, so let's call it 400 minutes less. Brennan Johnson in 33 games has 16 goal contributions. So he has double the goal contributions in one more game, but 400 less minutes. So that's why, I think people look at Kudus and go, he can run past a player. Oh, he runs past a player. Oh, I think Spurs fans are so desperate for a guy that beats his man that they kind of neglect the output. I mean, at the end of the day, football is about scoring goals and keeping goals out, not can you beat a man. Doesn't mean anything really when you think about it. What you do with the ball after that is important. And the amount of people that go, Semenyo's not good enough because Semenyo's going to cost 65 million. I mean, okay. So what's the argument for Kudus over Semenyo? You know, what's the argument for Kudus over a Xavi Simons, an Eberechi Eze? I don't really see the argument. Now, again, like I said, if Thomas Frank wants him, Thomas Frank wants him, and I will. And even if he does get signed, I will hold. Aaron Ramsey's flying to Mexico. Well, there you go, David Ornstein. Thanks for that. Obviously, I wholeheartedly support the moves. Do I think you can get much better value for your money? Oh, absolutely. I mean, like I said, 8 goal contributions for 60 million. The bar is that low in the transfer market nowadays. You know, Jesus, Mbuemo was going to be worth something similar, and he's got 28 goal contributions. I think Brentford need to hike their price up, to be honest. I think Brentford are looking at going, if Kudus is worth 60 and Mbuemo is worth minimum 70 now, minimum, actually should be worth more. If this deal was 50 and below, I probably would get on board a lot more, but 60 million, I don't see the value for money. I don't think the output of the season that's just been is worthy of 60 million. And that's why I've really been steadfast on this. And like I said, if he's Frank's guy, then he's my guy as well. And I said that about Ange, and I said it about Mourinho and Conte. If these are the guys that they truly want, then I support it, because at the end of the day, I'm a fan. This is a guy, this is his job, this is his livelihood, and he believes he needs these players to deliver such success. Roundtable, how are we? Less known, how are we? Timothy. Personally, I think the options we've got for Tuckers are quite solid. Kudus, though, has attitude problems which Frank wouldn't like. Well, look, I mean, Kudus is a expressive player. I'm not going to say his attitude issues as such as, like, you know, when people said Jed Spence has attitude issues. And for quite a long time, I was a bit like, look, I don't know if he has attitude issues or not. You know, you don't know what goes on in someone's personal life. You know, you don't know these things, right? Don't get me wrong. I don't really appreciate him virtually assaulting our players. I don't agree with that. And people go, but it shows fight. It's like, no, it doesn't. It doesn't show fight. Showing fight is working hard. You know, fighting for every loose ball, not shoving a player in the face. That doesn't show fight. It actually shows the opposite of fight. Apparently, we don't want to pay Eze's wages. I think wages would be fine, mate. Where have I been? Working. I've been busy. Eze, Simmons. Yeah, look, Simmons, I think. I mean, people talk about Kudus' upside. Simmons' upside is miles clear of it. Kudus'. Do you think West Ham and Tottenham negative relationship will affect the cost of Kudus? No. Supposedly, West Ham are actually keen to get rid of him. Now, I don't know if that's due to them not rating him as a player, or them rating the fact that, look, if we get 60 million for a guy who gives 8 goal contributions, we get a guy for 20 million that's going to give us 8 goal contributions. That's maybe another reason why they're thinking about it. But supposedly there is some financial fair play concerns that West Ham might have, and they want to try and, you know, ease tensions and worries surrounding it. Look, we'll keep an eye on it. Suppose there's been a bid rejected. We know from tomorrow, Spurs are markets open for us now. Let's get to it. So I am also tempering expectations. I think if you're one of those people who is, we haven't signed anyone, why haven't we signed anyone? This is not good enough. We should be signing everyone. Thomas Frank hasn't met the players. He hasn't trained any players. He hasn't met any players coming back off of loans. Like, he needs time. And this is, I said it all along. If you remove Ange, you must be patient. Because if you're demanding, Liverpool signing people, Man United signing people, Chelsea signing people, Arsenal signing people, Newcastle are trying to sign people. Well, can you tell me what the common denominator is of all these teams? Aston Villa, another one. Their managers are all the same as last season. Doesn't matter what part of the season they joined in, they're all the same, right? Last game of the season to right now, their managers have not changed. Ours has. And because of that, you need to give the manager time to see who he's working with, what he's got. He wants to know who he's going to be around next season, X, Y, and Z, right? Z. So anyone that's complaining about we haven't signed people, I'm kind of ignoring them, to be honest, because it just shows they don't live in the real world. Like, imagine we go, Basuma should be sold. Well, what if Thomas Frank really likes Basuma? That's why I've changed my tune. I was like, Richie's going to get sold. I'm like, well, what if Thomas Frank really likes Richie? Then he's not going to get sold, is he? What happens if he really disliked Son? Well, then you'd be expecting to sell Son. So this is why I'm like, temper your expectations for another couple of weeks. Now, don't get me wrong. By the 30th of July, if we'd signed one person in July, that's panic stations. But players haven't come back to training yet. They don't for a little while. Players are probably still on their summer holidays for most part. Some of them played international football as well. So now they're definitely in their downtime. Let's just breathe. Breathe. We also were told 1st of July Spurs are going to be more active. So let's just give them the benefit of the doubt. And I know some people go, I hate Daniel Levy and blah, blah, blah. Fine. Not a problem. I'm not his biggest fan. You know that. But the real world is there. And knowing what you're working with is what you're having to work with, all right? Is Semenyo better than Kudus? Well, Semenyo's got the output. And it's, what have you... I think people kind of then go to me, look what Kudus did in the 23-24 season. It's like, that's great. Can you tell me what he's done in the most relevant season last season? I don't care what you've done 2, 3, 4 years ago. I care what you've done more recently. At the end of the day, a player is being bought off of production of last season and what Spurs see of them going forward for the next few years. Something that you've done 2 or 3 seasons ago, that's cute. That's nice. It's not relevant right now. What have you done for me lately? And what are you going to do for me going forward? That's what matters, you know? Any updates on Xavi Simons? No updates. He supposedly still wants to leave. He is on Spurs' list. That's about it right now. Levy is a joke. The minute he gets competition for a player, he pulls out. We haven't pulled out of the Eze deal. I'm about to talk about him now, but we haven't pulled out of the Eze deal. Yeah. MD Sharia Rahman Sifat. I hope I got that right. Hello, bro. I'm watching Bangladesh. How are you? Do you think that Kudus signing will upgrade the team? We'd have Kulu and Johnson for the right wing position. Supposedly, they also view Kudus as a bit of a left winger, so plays a bit of both sides. Also, I think it's my first viewer from Bangladesh, so you're legend. They view, I mean, Kulu could be out for a little while going into this season. We'll wait and see what the timeline is on that. That could, anyone that goes, she's out till here, it's like, I'm just going to leave it time. We know he's out for a little while. Let's just not worry about him being back on that date, you know. But you need options. You do need options. Not good enough. Eze can bang on for... Not good enough. Eze bang on for Spurs. Do not let Arsenal get him. They can have Kudus. Is Romero leaving? No. It's been categorically proven that report that Romero, we had agreed a deal to sell Romero, was utter rubbish. Michael Bridge said it. Alistair Gold said it. All of the big ones said that report is utter nonsense. Romero deal's not agreed. Also, why would you do a deal for 55 million plus 10 million on add-ons? That's an awful deal. For me, if we're doing any deal, add those two together and then whack on like another 15, 20 million of add-ons. I'm not having this idea that we should sell Romero just because Atletico want him. No, Atletico can come play our valuation. Because think of it this way. If we went to go to Atletico to buy Romero, they'd be wanting 80 and above. So why are we not wanting 80 and above? Dead. Absolutely dead yet. Romero, there's no deal agreed. Nothing there, all right? Even Giant, mate, you're right. Romero isn't leaving. It's only from Argentina. Yeah, it's apparently Argentina sources saying that Messi's going back to Barca. So there you go. Anyway, moving on. Let's talk Eze. Because Arsenal have made contact with Eze's camp over the weekend. Contacts are taking place for Crystal Palace star. Arsenal informed on the deal conditions. Tottenham remain also keen on Eze. There you go. That's why sometimes you've got to wait for me to pull the trigger because you'll see some information come your way. Spurs are still interested in Eze, as are Manchester City, Arsenal. Nothing really is new. That's not a new report. Nobody should be sitting there getting wound up or worried about that report because that is nothing new. Arsenal still wants Sesko. Nothing's come out about that. Arsenal are still interested in Rodrigo. Nothing's come out about that. I think City might still do a bit more business. We'll see about how that goes. But on Eze, we know about these three teams wanting Eze. Nothing has changed there. I don't believe for a second Spurs have distanced themselves. I know that Ben Jacobs has said that. I don't believe that for a second because other bigger names have said, no, Spurs are still keen. And yeah, so for me, let's breathe. Let's watch and see how that situation unfolds. There's way more to this than just meets the eye is how I'm going to go about it. The club said 70 mil. Yeah, I mean, that might be just 70 mil, but not including add-ons. And Boemo, Eze, Semenyo, Kudus. If it's Kudus, he's the weakest of the four. Compare his stats with Son, who we presume is selling. Son's finished, apparently. This is what I mean. I think we've set the bar so low for ourselves because we're just excited by a guy that can beat his man. I think it's hilarious. What happened to the days of output? My whole thing is, does he score goals and does he assist? Yes. Then he's probably an impactful player. Son, impactful, 20-plus goal contributions. I think Johnson had 25 goal contributions last season. I keep being told he's crap, by the way. 25 goal contributions for a Premier League player. That's none too shabby. I think it's, if you exclude the Europa League, it's like 19 goal contributions or something like that. Again, not too shabby in my opinion. I know some fans don't like Johnson because he can't beat 8 players in a row and score a 25-yard screamer from a bicycle kick. I get it. But stats are stats. He impacts games in the most prevalent and important ways. But I mean, the way I look at it is 8 goal contributions. If I gave Tell this preseason, because there's going to be a fair chance, preseason, tour, all that stuff, if I said 32 games, could I get 8 goal contributions from Tell? Then if I can, then what are we doing? That's the way I look at it. Now, if I was going, I need 20 goal contributions, but Tell can't do that, then we have a conversation to have. But 8 goal contributions last season. I'm just not impressed. We've been linked to so many better players in terms of productivity. Like, if you want people to beat their man, Eze and Simmons could beat their man with ease. I mean, Semenyo beats his man, but those two beat their men. And they have a better goal and assist contribution output. Well, Kudus is younger than Eze, and Simmons is how old? I'd rather Simmons every day of the week, twice on Sunday, than a Kudus. I'd rather Eze than a Kudus. He's not near the top of my list again, but if Frank wants him, let's do it. That's what Frank wants. But we could do miles better than Kudus, and we should be personally. But again, if Frank wants him, he's the guy that trains him. Then I'm all on board. Is it related? Well, Eze's release clause is what it is. 60 plus 8 can be broken down into 3 installments of 20 each. Been saying if 20 plus goal assists contributions is, quote, finished, sign me up for more of that, please. Yeah, I know. I think, do you know what? I also think some fans have somewhat an unrealistic expectation of our club. We've not won a Premier League title. When have we last won an FA Cup? We've won 1 League Cup in however long. I mean, the European trophy is an anomaly. It's not something we've done for decades, and that's why it was amazing. But, you know, we aren't Liverpool. We aren't Man City. It's not, you know, could we be? Yeah, maybe we could be. But that's not relevant because you have a bed, you sleep in that bed. That is what you're working with, right? It's like me saying, look at this amazing bed that is out there. Look at my mate. He sleeps on that amazing bed. Well, it's not your bed, so get on with it. That's unfortunately we have to deal with, you know? And again, this isn't a shouting match saying owners crap or anything like that. I'm not really interested in talking chances, but it is what it is. You live in the world that you live in, you know? Johnson can't beat one player. He can beat a keeper, and that's what I care about. 22 Simmons. Yeah, exactly. So he's younger than Kudus, and he's better than Kudus. So there you go. Hey, Milton, how are you, big man? Moving on, though, because we've got Mara to talk about. But yeah, apparently, sorry, I forgot to add that Kudus is high on the list of Spurs and he is interested in the move to Spurs. So there you go. Thomas Frank wants to keep Romero. Like I said, the Romero bid was absolute nonsense. There is no agreement. We haven't accepted any bid for Romero. Have we probably received bids? Yeah, it wouldn't shock me, but there's nothing agreed. And Thomas Frank wants to keep him. Shock. Keep your best centre half. I know, right? It's mental. Paul O'Keefe saying that Jacob Ramsey is a player that Spurs are interested in again. Again, that's, I feel like more of a Johan Lang. Feels a bit more of a Johan Lang sort of deal, does it not? I mean, again, homegrown, that makes an impact on our deals. But I mean, look, with Ramsey, he can play on the left, he can play central. I think he's a decent player. What is the deal going to cost? I mean, let's have a look at his stats for last season. So I was typing out Ramsey and I put R in front of season instead. Last season, 46 games played across the Premier League, Champions League, FA Cup, EFL Trophy, 4 goals, 7 assists, so 11 goal contributions across that. Again, he offers versatility, but how much is it? It's the same thing with Kudus. I like Ramsey, but I'm not going to like him if it's 50 and above because he's not worth 50 and above. It's the same with Kudus. I like Kudus, max 50. If it's more than 50, I think it's a bad deal and you can do better. We know we can do better. Again, I like Ramsey. If it's got to be max 40. And the reason why I say 40, English tax is like 15, 20 mil alone, right? So then you're buying them for 15, 20 mil. But look, I don't mind Ramsey. I think he can improve. Absolutely. I mean, how old is he? He's 24. Oh, he's a young 24-year-old, but I thought he was younger. I thought he was like 22. He's got 2 years left on his contract. Yeah, this is max 40. Max 40. I can't see Ramsey being... I can't see Ramsey being a good deal if it's more than 40, if you get what I mean. Like, I think we're all probably like interested and we think Ramsey's decent. But like, I don't know. Looking a bit frumpy, mate. Am I okay? I'm grand. I'm hot and bothered, though. It's hot today. But no, I'm good. It's been a good day at work. How are you, Sean? Why judging Kudus based off one bad season whilst maybe didn't have a better season than Kudus had? Well, hang on a second. I'm not blown away by the Semenyo deal, by the way. I've been quite on that. But, I mean, 37 games, 17 goal contributions, 32 games, 8 goal contributions. Like, what are we doing? 8 goal contributions, 60 million. It's not, I just can't see it being a good deal. You know? Harvey Elliott. Again, on Harvey Elliott, I think he's a good player, but why do I think he's going to go to Brighton? I remember seeing that link last season or last summer. You know what I mean? Where's Ramsey fit in? Well, I think there's going to be players leaving, but you have to be we have to be patient because Frank hasn't met the players, he hasn't trained anyone. You know, I think there might be an idea in his head who he might want to move on, and the club might have said X, Y, and Z, but I don't know. I think you're wrong on what this manager brings. I think we're all going to be happy as we're going to see the best out of that. That's what I think you might be twisting my words there, because I'm backing Frank completely. And I'm saying I don't want a player, but if Frank wants him, then we should all want him because this is the guy this is his job. We want success. He's the guy we have to back to get success. I think you've twisted my words there to fit something that hasn't been said. I think Frank's a good coach. I've always said that. I think he's in for an interesting job this season because he's going to have to deliver in some aspect. 10th with a good cup run isn't going to be enough. He's going to need to do something, but I back him completely. I think he's a good coach. We have to be patient with him, is what I've said. So, yeah, I don't know. I think maybe you've missed my point. Maybe you started listening halfway through a point, so it sounded like I was slagging him off. But actually, everyone in the chat will tell you I've been actually a bit of a frank guy. And frankly, there you go, there's a dad joke for you. Semenyo last season. Well, last season was the one that spin. Kudus had 8 goal contributions. Semenyo had 17 or 18, whatever it was, 6 million seasons benchmark for Premier League proven. Again, I don't think it is. Well, no, it might be, but I don't think it should be. Again, I'd rather take a flyer on someone that's like a third of the price. I mean, think of it this way, right? Tell what Odebear, if one of them in 32 games can give you 8 goal contributions, then surely that would be the way you go about it. I'm good to see, Bunk. How are you, mate? 14 goals and providing 6 assists for Kudus in 23-24. That's nice. What do you do in 24-25? Because that's what I'm caring about at the moment. Again, 2 years ago was Ange's first season. Ange's gone, right? 2 years ago, before we kicked a ball in the Premier League, Harry Kane was still a Spurs player. It's been an absolute. I mean, 23, 24, 25, not much difference. Yeah, but actually, Teddy, you're kind of screwing your own argument there, because what you're comparing is Semenyo 2 years ago to Kudus this season, right? Both were deemed poor, let's say. Well, one is then this season, one is 2 seasons ago when they were both good. So surely what have you done for me lately is more important than what you did for me 2 seasons ago. You see what I mean? Again, neither one of those guys are top of my list. But if one guy's done it more recently than the other, surely that's more important. Or am I missing the boat there? Because they're going to be similar in value. If one does it more recently than the other, then it means I'm going to be more trustworthy to that guy. Like, I'm not calling anyone a one-season wonder either. What I'm saying is, do you see why people are arguing against one or the other, right? I don't think Kudus' best season, right? Statistically, worse than Son last season, right? Across the competitions, okay? And at their apex, I still think Son's probably a better player. Son, I don't think, can do it enough. That's the issue now, right? But Johnson, over 2 seasons, has more goal contributions, right? But he's called crap. But Kudus is amazing because he can beat a player but can't score or assist last season. There seems to be a grey area where people are offsetting productivity for the fact that, he's exciting because he runs past a player. There's a grey area. You need to find the sweet spot for fans. I'm not saying this is Teddy or anyone in particular. It's anyone that gets defensive and takes it personally, that's on you. It's not on me. You have to find the balance between, hey, he's really impactful when he's got the ball and runs past a player, but he's got to do something with it when he beats the man. That's my thinking on it. Again, if people, what they want is to watch a guy beat his man and that's all they care about, that's not a problem. You like what you like and that's fine. But the hardest thing to do in football is to put the ball in the back of the net. And we got a guy on the right wing who's not actually that bad at that. And that's my thinking. Now, on the left wing, could Kudus deliver quality? Oh, we'll have to wait and see because they view him as well as a left winger. But there you go. But anyway, I'm moving on Kudus because I don't want to talk about him anymore. I was doing a quick live and I've spent most of this talking about Kudus and I'm bored about him. I am bored about him. Sean with the super chat. Thanks for the research and insight, Governor. Absolutely. I actually have a diet hack for all of you if you want to lose weight. Diet sodas or squash or flavored water. It'll fill you up. There you go. You wouldn't get a right winger. Johnson's good. The only thing with Kulu is like, when is he back? When's he back? Anyway, moving on, because we've got to talk about the six. The six. Paulo keeps saying bringing in a number 6 is a priority for Tottenham this summer. Again, I've always talked about recently with the number 6 role. Sorry, I forgot to like Sean's legendary thing, absolute legend. With the 6, I've always had this attitude of, hey, how you view a 6 in Ange system, even though it's the same formation of 4-3-3, that like of what Frank is obviously quite known for playing. The 6s can play in a different style because you may defend in a different way, deeper, further up. Like Ange was a bit further up, so you're having to cover a lot more space. Hence why I don't think Norgard was ever going to be a right player for us. Hence why I didn't think Paulinho for Ange would have been a good signing. Whereas you're defending, let's say, 10, 15 yards deeper, and you've got a less mobile centre-back, maybe that now would suit your Paulinho. Maybe that would now suit a Norgard. Obviously, I know Norgard's not coming to us. I'm just, as an example. I'd love to know what they look for in a 6. So we don't have any names. There is no names out there. They're prioritising a number 6, and this could be a Johan Lang work in mystery and work in the quiet. I'd love to know what they view on a 6. Because like getting the ball off the back 4, Basuma's really solid at that, right? And Bentancur's really solid at that. It's defensively being switched on enough. You know, it's great for a game or two here and there, and they can do that. And like, you know, in Europe, they were fantastic at that. And I will put that word in there. They were fantastic at that. But longevity-wise, I think we've all sort of seen at times they can struggle. Now, if how Andrew's doing it, how you're actually playing a double pivot, then that changes things because you've got a 6 who doesn't need to cover as much ground. Like, you know, Sergio Busquets, or Busquets is his real name, you know, he had to cover big, large, vast areas, right? But he also had Xavi that was nearby, but also he was smart to sort of, you know, see things before it happened. I think with us, we definitely need, obviously, someone in the 8 that can play alongside him. Does Bergvall maybe transition into that, to the sort of Frenkie de Jong-esque style play where maybe he's actually more of the 8, but it's not as a frantic number 8, you know, and you then still got Madders who can still do what you want him to do. Because I think Madders is going to be brilliant under Thomas Frank. You know, I think he's still going to be brilliant. And I think he was good last season as well. I think he was good the season before, but I think he'll continue that trajectory. But is Bergvall and Bentancur viewed as the 8s? Is Sarr? You know, there's a lot of questions in that midfield. There really is. You know, do they deem Bergvall as more of a 10 going into next season? So then Kulu could be deemed as a right wing. You know, I'm sitting here like, I don't know what they're going to do with the 6. I'm not even going to sit here and pretend that I know what they're going to do with the 6 role. I'm not going to sit and pretend that I'm even going to prophesize this is a name that we wanted the 6. We were linked to Angel Gomez early in the summer. Obviously, he's gone. We've been linked to Paulinho. I don't think that's really blowing anyone away, to be honest. I don't think it's been great at Bayern last season. Who else have we been linked to in the midfield? I think that's really about it. Like for like CDMs, I feel like that's about it. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there is a name there that I've sort of missed, but I don't think that's it. So this could be a Johan Lang special where cards are kept close to the chest and Hayden Hackney. Oh yeah, Hackney. Hackney's been linked to us. Richard Rios looks decent for the 6. You think the 6 will be a signing on a random Wednesday? Ooh. 2 days' time. We could be there. Okay? But yeah, on... ouch, excuse me. On the 6, I just don't... I have no news. I have no idea. I know nothing. I think we all know nothing as well. I'm not even going to say, oh, yeah, we're definitely linked to this guy or this guy. I really don't know. I really don't know, to be honest. Rios is like Valverde plus Kante. Mate, if he was 50% of each of those, we'd sign him. Every team in the world probably trying to get him because Valverde's a monster and Kante was a monster, you know? Yeah, Yeah, but Hayden Hackney's been a link, but we've been linked to Hayden Hackney now for a couple of years. That's not a new name. We were linked last summer. I think we linked the summer before, I remember correctly. That's a club signing. That is, young Englishman from the Championship. Can he be Adam Wharton? Kind of vibe. We've been linked to Adam Wharton. That's not happening. If Eberechi is too expensive, Adam Wharton is more expensive. I think Mark Guay, Newcastle and Liverpool, one of those two. So Spurs won't be in there. Branthwaite signed a new contract again for centre-back. Just off the top of my head of centre-backs, that's not happening either. So we shall see on that. I'll keep my eye out because I don't really know anything on the CDM role at the moment. Yeah, we'll sort of see. I don't know if any of you do know. You might know. You might not know. Got contacted by James from Spurs Related. I don't know if any of you follow them on Twitter or obviously on YouTube. They have a YouTube channel. I don't know if anyone has been a viewer of theirs. Might be on the channel at some point soon, talking to them about Spurs. We'll keep an eye on it. Haven't eaten dinner, so we'll have to wait and see. I am starving, absolutely starving. It's been a long day of not eating food, basically. So, but yeah, James reached out to me, so seems like a nice guy. Seemed like some decent content. Might reach out and sit on the channel and have a little bloody chat with them. I'm like, listen here, all right. I think after watching Moussa Dembele at Baller League, we bring Moussa Dembele back. Rios is a great engine to have in the six. Loves tackle. Strike ball so good. Gives almost 100% in every game. He might be a good addition in six. Maybe so. Rate in ascending order. Rodri, Hackney, Ice Spice, Kante, and Raheem Sterling. I can't lie. Raheem Sterling's probably last. I've never listened, I don't think, to Ice Spice. We'll put her fourth. Rodri, Hackney, and Kante. I guess Kante, I reckon, can still give you a shift. In a year's time, that would change around. But Rodri is probably quite far ahead of all of those. They're decent, are they? Good stuff, Callum. I might be on there. I think they're going live today, so I might be on there. Depends if I've eaten. I need to go to the shops as well. I've got to go to the shops. Oh, I can't be bothered. Jesus Christ. Never heard of him. Well, check him out. They're live at 7:30. Oh, that's so dead. Oh, it's maybe. If you do want to watch some Spurs Connect, give them a little follow. But anyway, thanks very much for joining me, everyone, this evening. Absolute legends. I might be live later with them. If not, I'll be back to it. Of course he can. He's a distributor of the football. How's the new job? Tough gig. No, it's good. It's just long days at the moment until things settle down. But it's good. It's good. Smile on my face. But anyway, thanks for joining me, everyone, tonight. Thank you, the absolute bloody legends. Back hopefully tomorrow to talk more Spurs. If not, I'll see you when I next see you. Take care, everyone. Peace.